Hello, I'm going to be reviewing the 2019 horror movie called uh, Us, which is directed by Jordan Peele. It stars Luta Ninyaga, or Ninyago. Sorry, I have trouble pronouncing her name. It also stars Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, Tim Heidecker, Shahadi Wright Joseph, and Evan Alex. That's the main the main cast in the movie. so the basic plot of this movie is it starts in the 1980s, I believe in 1986 maybe, and it it has a family. It's a husband and wife and a young daughter. They're at this carnival on the beach, and they're going around doing these games and stuff. Well, the father goes up to this one game and the wife it has to go somewhere. I think she maybe has to use the bathroom or something like that. But she said, "Can you keep an eye on our daughter for us?" And he said, "Sure, I'll do that." And for some reason, the daughter ends up wandering off, and she arrives at this. It's not a haunted house, but it's kind of set up like one. It's this place called Merlin's Forest, and on the sign it says "Find Yourself." And when she goes in, it's like a hall of mirrors, and it's set up like a forest setting. Well, she goes up to one of the mirrors and she finds a reflection of herself, but it's facing her from the back, not the front, like when you look in a mirror. And I guess the image turns around and like she opens her eyes and has like this look on her face, and then it flashes to the present, and the girl's of course all grown up now. She has a husband and two kids, and they're going on a trip. When you find out later on, they're going back to the same beach where this incident occurred when she was a child. But of course, she never told them about this incident. But they're going to go back, and she starts freaking out and stuff. And she starts telling her husband like what happened there, and you know, and then when they eventually go there, a lot of weird stuff starts happening. Like a lot of weird things start synchronizing up. Like there's a scene where there's a kid throwing a frisbee, and there's like a polka dot towel, and he throws the frisbee, and the frisbee lands like on exactly on one of the dots. And someone says, "Wow, that's kind of weird. That's a weird coincidence." And a lot of weird stuff like that starts happening. And then on this incident, the son wanders off, and he runs across a homeless man standing there in the middle of the beach. And he's standing there like in the Jesus Christ pose, kind of, with his back towards the kid. And the mom finds him, and then they take him home. And later that night, everyone's settling down to go to sleep. The young son comes into the parents' room, and he said, "There's a family in our driveway." And of course, the parents, or at least the father, doesn't believe him at first. And then eventually, they go out and they see the family, and the father tries to confront them, and then they eventually like break off and get into the house. And then you find out that this other family are like doppelgangers. They look exactly like the regular family in the movie, except they're dressed in all red. They can't talk. Besides the mom, she could talk a little bit, but it's like broken up. And uh, this like they kind of look like them, but they look like disheveled and messed up. Like, but after they're in this family, it's a doppelganger family dressed in the red. They're called the Tethered, and they're and then havoc ensues. And basically, that's the basic plot of this movie. I'll get into more details about it. Now, Jordan Peele, I did like Get Out. I thought that was a really good movie. I know that one's very divisive in the horror genre, but I like Jordan Peele's his directing style. I liked him when he was on Key and Peele, and I remember when he was on Mad TV. And I know it was kind of weird when he went into the horror genre, but I thought he did a really good job with Get Out. And I was kind of excited to see this one too, because I didn't see it on its theatrical release, but I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this movie's weird. It's crazy. It makes you think." And I was like, okay, so this movie is really weird, and I can't really get into too much about. That's like the basic plot of the movie. There's a lot of hidden symbolism and meanings in this movie. I was watching some videos about it. Um, some of the stuff I picked up, like, hold on, I'll look it up. There's like a lot of things that keep popping up in the movie, like the number 1111 in the Bible, First Jeremiah 11:11, and I actually looked it up what that meant. If I can get it, uh, Jeremiah 11:11 is this is from the King James version. It says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them." And another version is this: "Therefore this is what the Lord says, I will bring on them a disaster they cannot escape. Although they cry out to me, I will not listen to them." So it has like a very creepy like message in the movie. There's also like a white rabbit, like a white hair rabbit that keeps popping up in the movie. And I was watching some videos on it. That can mean like someone had it from like a religious standpoint that the rabbit in the Bible symbolized it's like as a it was a symbol of purity and fruit what do you call that? I was trying to figure out the word. Like reproduction and stuff like that. So it was seen as a pure form. But in the movie, I'm going to spoil the movie because there's just a lot I want to talk about. But in the movie, the tethered, they eat the rabbit. And the rabbit, and like I said in the Bible, is supposed to be a symbol of purity. Another one is that in conspiracy circles, the rabbit is like the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, where you follow it, you go into like this crazy, mysterious world. It's basically they say like MK Ultra stuff like that, like mind control. The tethered in the movie are like government experiments. They're clones of people on the surface, and they're like supposed to control the people on the surface, but they're treated horribly. And there's a reference in the beginning of the movie for Hands Across America, which was like a campaign back in the 80s, I guess, to help fight a campaign or charity back in the 80s to help fight homelessness. And I'm guessing that the tethered are supposed to be like the homeless, and the people on the top are supposed to be like the upper class, and the tethered, they get mistreated and stuff like that, and they want to kill their counterparts on the surface to take over. That's my guess. And there's a symbolism where the tethered, they are holding hands and across the world, and I guess that's more like the Hands Across America thing. There's the scissors, like they use scissors in the movie, which is probably like a dual meaning, like, they're trying to cut the tether, they're trying to cut themselves from their counterparts. Uh, there were some other ones too that I'm trying to remember, but it's just like a really weird kind of movie that I think, like, and maybe I'm just looking too deep into it, but I think a lot of people didn't get it either, and I think it's going to take a while to rewatch to pick up on all the little hints and try to piece it together. Um, like the 11/11 thing keeps popping up, and then there's a thing with like 22. The number 22 keeps popping up, and like the date, it was released on March 20th, I think March 22nd, 2019, and people are saying that this is like real conspiracy shit. That it's the symbol, it's the number for skull and bones. It's a Masonic number when you add it up. It gets, yeah, it's just weird. It's a kind of a weird movie. It's like, it gave me, like, it's one of those movies, like, when you watch and it gives you a weird, creepy feeling. Like, the beginning of the movie, like, at the beach. Like, the very beginning, like, when the girl, is at the beach and she sees her tether. Like, how that scene led up, that was a very, like, eerie, creepy scene. I don't know, I can't describe it. It was just really weird and creepy to me. And then the second part, when they go back to the beach, that was kind of a weird, creepy scene too. And it kind of gave me like that same feeling when I watched The Witch or Exorcist 3. It just has like a weird, evil feeling to it. Um, but the rest of the movie, like, I know I'm sorry, my eyes are watering. The rest of the movie I wasn't really a big fan of. Like the middle half when they are trying to escape from the tethered and stuff like that. It was just kind of like your standard horror movie, like home invasion kind of thing. And there's not much gore in it, which I don't care. Um, the acting's really good. I really like the acting from Luke the Ninyaga or Nyago. I forgot how to say her name. Oh, I'm sorry that I'm getting all like jittery and stuff. Um, and the acting from the children were really good. Winston Duke, he was alright, but he was like typical dad character in the movie. He was more like goofy and he didn't believe everything like they were talking about. And there's the other family, I think they're called the Tylers or the Taylors, the white family. They're kind of like rich snobs, and the husband's an alcoholic and really lazy, and the wife's like kind of like this stuck up, bratty kind of woman. I mean, they played their parts well, but I think the best was Luta Minyaga or whatever, and the two children and her children in the movie. Um, I would recommend Us, but like I said, it's not really a standard horror movie, I guess. It's more you have to break it down more and think about what's going on in the movie. Because there's a lot of hidden symbols and meanings in it. And I did like the movie, but I kind of preferred Get Out a little bit better because Get Out was more straightforward horror, and this one is more like you gotta rewatch it a few times to think about what the hell's going on. And I'm probably gonna buy this movie and rewatch it. It's kind of like a cure for wellness for me for this year. A Cure for Wellness is a movie that came out in like 2017, and it had a lot of weird like meanings and symbols in it that you had to like decode, and it like drove me crazy because that's all I was thinking about for a while. And I keep thinking about like the meanings in the symbols and meanings in this movie, and I've been watching videos about it and stuff, and yeah, I mean maybe it's not that deep, but it was really interesting, like especially the Bible verse and how certain like the White Rabbit and the 1111 kept and 22s kept popping up and stuff like that. But I don't know if it was a good review, if this was a great review. I kind of got like that sidetracked it and so, but it's a hard movie to explain. You kind of got like have to watch it just to experience what it's like. There's another theory in this movie. Well, one was obvious, was an obvious one. The other one we don't. I don't know if I'll probably get into it, but at the beginning of the movie, you kind of find out that the mother was actually switched, and they do show it at the end. That the mother on the surface level, the looped up character, she's actually, I think her name's Adelaide in the movie. She's actually the tethered, and then the tethered that's coming back to get revenge, that was actually the human Adelaide. And then there was a theory that the son, Jason, the Adelaide's son in the movie, that he got switched one time in the movie, but it's never clearly defined if he was or not. But anyways, that's my review. I'm sorry if it was just a jumble, rambly review. Like I said, it's one of those movies you kind of have to watch and experience for yourself. But anyways.